Guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Again, today starting it off with, interviewing entrepreneurs. This individual really has impacted me a lot with his story. I hope that you guys get a good experience from it. Let us know what topics you like us to talk about in the comments. Make sure you guys hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. And with let's not waste time and let's get right to it. Billy, how are you from Vinyl Addictions, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Vinyl Addictions. I'm good. How you doing?
Good, bro. We were talking a little bit beforehand, and it's like I'm really impacted by your story and really what people can, I guess, learn from it. Where do you think that you kind of got that entrepreneurship mindset? Is that something that your dad built you up to, or?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I was pretty much, now that I really think about it, I was really always raised around people that had, their own thing going on. My uncles, I grew up doing construction with my uncles. They had their own business. We didn't work for other people.
Okay.
And they had a body shop, and, they had the cars, and they were pretty much always entrepreneurs. Not realistically, I've never really thought back, but yeah, they were all entrepreneurs.
But sometimes the most important important figure is your dad. Did your dad also have those same qualities that you kind of wanted to mimic, or?
My dad was the one that kind of was the motor for the brothers' companies that were that had their own companies. He was like the workhorse. He didn't own the companies, but he did all the work.
How did you being a child kind of you're okay, I don't want dad to work, or I would.
My dad worked a lot, bro. My dad worked. He worked about 80 hours a week.
Damn.
So I didn't see him very much. And then once I reached the age of 13, 14 in the summer times, I would just go to work with him just to be with him. And then that's when I started learning about contracting and building houses, and that kind of led me into I got away from the books in high school. The high school that I went to, there was two buildings. There was book smart kids and hands-on kids. It was called basically high school and vocational school or something like that. So in the vocational school, you had computer-aided drafting, you had electrical, you had hair for hairstylist, you had culinary, you had all of that.
So kind of train you for a specific
specific career, right?
Got it.
So it pushed me over there. I ended up winning tons of electrical competitions in high school. I was the guy with the electrical competitions. And we would go to other schools, and a lot of schools, what they would do is they'd get companies that own mobile homes to donate a mobile home. So I was the electrical. Another kid that was the best at plumbing from my school would do plumbing. Somebody else would do windows and siding. They taught all that in the school, the very individual skills. And we had our team, and we would go to places, and we would build these mobile homes, and then the companies would donate them to veterans.
Oh, dang.
So, but everything when we were done had to be clearly past inspection and all that stuff. You're not going to give some guy a house that's going to burn down. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so yeah, I think a lot of that gets kind of stemmed from there. It was fun to be in charge. You know what I mean?
But I'm curious then, did that not orient you to kind of go for a construction career? Because obviously I mean, we're not going to move that fast, but Vinyl Addictions and then construction, it kind of
So I was in the construction field many years. Probably till my mid-20s, late 20s. I was always kind of in and out of construction. I kind of did everything, bro. I was the type of person who just wanted to learn everything. I was in construction, and then I owned pizzerias, because I learned how to make pizza from a friend who taught me how to make pizza, and it was just this is a profitable business, so I'll own a pizzeria here or there, you know what I mean? And it's just kind of, I was always busy.
Okay.
Always busy, always doing something. I was a super, super active kid. I see kids nowadays, man, on the iPads, and they don't go outside, and it's so sad, bro. It's the world we live in, to me, is sad,
So were you always did you always feel like you saw the world from a different perspective than the people around you, your age?
As a kid, no, man. Like me, and I have a huge, huge family. I have, I think, 52 cousins. Yeah, I have 11 aunts and uncles. So they all had tons of kids. But we were all active, dude. Like we were dirty. We were dirty every day. Football, baseball, soccer, basketball. Just beating the shit out of each other in the park for no reason. Like I had a bunch of guy cousins. Like we had like my family had like a group of cousins that were like say 18, and then there was this 16-year-old group, and then like 15 and 14, and like so we all had like our individual groups of like 5 to 8 of us.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it was just I had a fun childhood. I will say that. Like I did BMX, like the X Games stuff, like dirt jumps, I used to do backflips and all that crazy stuff as a kid. And then I got into rollerblading, like doing like X Games style rollerblading, like jumping down huge sets of stairs and down handrails and all that craziness. And I did football, baseball, soccer. I played tennis. I learned how to play tennis just to do it. Like we were always outside, bro.
But don't you think that it's kind of like unfair if you say like today kids aren't outside because of their phones, and back then you guys didn't really have well, there was phones, right? Or no?
You just hit me with it back then. No, there wasn't phones actually.
Exactly.
There was phones. I think the first cell phone that I had was a Nextel i90.
But who bought you that? Did you buy it yourself or someone bought it for you?
Somebody bought it.
Okay.
My mom wouldn't let me have a phone. My mom was always like this, I don't know, like this parent that, like, I'd try out for the football team. I'd make the football team, and I would play football for my high school until my mom would figure it out, and then she would go and get me kicked off the team.
How come?
Because she said she didn't want me to get hurt. But yet I have 7 cousins that are on the football team that we play full contact tackle football in the playground with no pads on, and they demolish me because I was always the littlest cousin. But she didn't care about that. Go to the park with your cousins, get ran over like a horse. You know what I mean? Running you over, and that's fine because they're your cousins. But
what?
Yeah, she never let me. Every other sport she was cool with.
That's kind of that kind of just shows though like how much she cared about you, but like very like it's kind of like contrary because it's like
you buy me a bike, I'm jumping 25 feet in the air, doing flips, coming down, hurting falling, hurting myself, banging my head, ended up with concussions. But it was this football niche that she had. She just wasn't with the football.
Let me ask you a question. Like since you had so many guy cousins, like you think that kind of built your character too to like have that tough mental game too?
Yeah, because my cousins are all tough.
Because like today we're bringing it up again, right? But like it's like phones, and also like I guess kids don't build character through access in phones.
Who else is in their phone?
Oh, us obviously too.
Their parents. That's why kids don't go outside. Who's gonna tell them to go outside and pick up a ball? Yeah, my mom was like, "The sun is up. Wake up and go outside." I'd be like, "Mom, I'm tired. Go outside." It was like you had to be outside. We were always outside.
You're a dad, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you don't blame your kids for like the things that they do. You also hold responsibility to yourself.
For sure. Yeah, my son's 2 years old. He's 2.5 years old, and he knows how to run across a field kicking a soccer ball already. His stepsister, she's 13. She plays for Charlotte Independence, and when I have him and we go to her tournaments and all that stuff. Like she's taught, she plays with him in the yard, and so it's already he knows how to hit a baseball off a tee. He's since he was like 1.5 years old. So he's always outside. Come summertime, we're not in the house.
But that's because you also teach him that?
Because I'm not on my phone. And I'm not on my iPad. When I'm home, I'm being a father. Spending quality time. I'm outside. I could sit outside on the patio all day. I'd rather be outside than be in the living room.
Is that because like you've worked a lot, or is that just because of the mentality that you...
I just think it's just built in me, like, be outside. If it's nice out, be outside. Don't be in the house. Why? And I think it just stems from your childhood. Certain characteristics you get from your childhood are going to stick with you through your whole life.
Yeah, I think though sometimes I do see parents kind of like, because they want to make their kids safe, they want to make their kids like live in this very protective world, it goes like very contrary to how they grow up. It's like you give them so much love and like protection that they don't really get to develop.
Yeah,
like
coddle them. It's called coddling.
You don't
coddle
believe
your
in
child
that?
because you don't want them to get hurt. And you don't want them to be. You don't want them to, God forbid, end up kidnapped in this crazy world we live in right now, right?
Yeah.
But is the world any crazier now than it was in the 90s? Or is it just out in front of you so much? We didn't have phones to see this girl just got kidnapped. We didn't have phones to get Amber Alerts. We had grocery stores with 500 pictures of kids that were missing at the grocery store. Or the picture on the milk carton. Like, there's jokes about that now, but that's how you found out somebody was missing. They put your picture on a milk carton.
Man, just you bringing the new perspective on, like, yeah, the world.
Like, is the world worse now, or is it just in front of us so much? And does it cause people to not grow individually because of it? Because they're so scared. Because, like...
But I also think I attribute to our development also, like, as adults and as children, a lot of, like, the things that we believe in are marketed to us.
Yeah.
And we decide to believe them.
Yeah.
And
it's a facade of reality. So what's put in front of you is for you to believe, is for you to... I mean, I'm not going to get political in any way or shape or form, but if you spend your time on these devices, you'll believe in what they put in front of you.
How did you break from it? Because I think it's based off perspective, and it's always good to see how you did it. Mm-hmm. So maybe someone can grab a snippet of that example and be like, okay, like, let's do it. Obviously, like, okay, so you grew up in this environment of, like, growing up with your cousins, playing rough, like, learning all the types of sports that, I don't know what you haven't. The only thing you haven't named is pickleball.
Yeah. And now I'm too beat up from my childhood to even think about playing a sport.
So, what else influenced you to become or gain that or build off that entrepreneurial mindset? Because I think it's ever evolving, right? Like, you never really stop working or stop evolving.
No, yeah, your brain never stops. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
You know.
Because you said you're from where again?
The Poconos in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So I feel like growing up, you know, like, I saw people that, you know, I saw people who worked for, you know, like, factories. Like, where I'm from, they have two of the largest industrial factories in like, areas in the whole country.
Really?
Like,
what do they do?
It's called Valmont and Humboldt, and they're factories. So, like, Hershey, Mars, M&M, AutoZone, like, like, so much stuff that is tangible in the world is made in these industrial parks. There's thousands of companies that have buildings over there.
Damn.
So, like, right now, my mom, she's always worked in factories. Right now, she works for a company that makes all body armor, like Gatorade, body armor, water, Sam's Club water, and all the... I don't even know what she makes. She's always telling me something different. But she literally runs a machine that makes these bottled drinks. And it's so crazy because, like, I'm always in the grocery store and, like, I'll pick up something and I'll look at the where is it made, and it'll say, like, Humboldt, Pennsylvania.
And you know, it's crazy that until you know that,
you
little things like that aren't of relevance to you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like everything you pick up, you never know whether, like, today clothing, it's like people put this, again, you're marketed like, oh, it's Louis Vuitton. When if they put the real label somewhere outsourced in India or outsourced in China.
So I'll tell you something crazy about that. I worked in a garbage bag factory. Just got a job, got my forklift license, got a job in a garbage bag factory. Mm-hmm. The same bag that has great value on it from Walmart is the exact same bag that says Hefty on it.
No way.
Swear to you, bro. So what they do is it's crazy. It starts off as, like, little plastic pellets, right? And they dump them in a machine. It melts them. And all they do is adjust the ply, which is the thickness of the bag, and the way that the machine puts the plastic together. So like you see some of the hefty bags, they got like a diamond shaped on them and they stretch really far without tearing.
Yeah, yeah.
All that's the same, bro. It's all the same. They literally just, as a forklift driver, I would just bring over different boxes. They'd be like, all right, next we're running great value black. Next line over is running hefty black.
Dang. But let's give importance to that, because it's not, we're not only do that with the most basic thing.
No. Yeah,
We're
everything.
Like today what's popular, Van Cleef, like you've seen it, right? Like it's just like a little shamrock. They sell a $4 version and a $4,000 version. Obviously quality changes a little bit, but like you said, let's bring it back to the trash bags. It's the same thing again.
Yeah.
Just different ways that they're
it's
marketed
being made right next to each other.
That's insane.
Like I just recently found out that a company owns DeWalt and Craftsman. The same company. They're everything, all those drills and stuff are made in the same place. They just, today we run DeWalt, tomorrow we run Craftsman. Today we run, it's the same little motors. It's the same, it's all the same, bro. There's so many things in the world that are like that are really made. Like, I mean, like my mom, she works in a water factory. She makes smart water. She makes Dasani. She makes this, she makes that. She makes whatever the cheapest bottle of water that you buy a 40 pack for $3. They don't change the water.
It's all up here.
It's all up here. America has Toyota and Lexus, right?
I think so.
2 Chinese brands. Lexus doesn't exist in China. Only Toyota does. But when you slap a Lexus tag on it and you triple the price of a Toyota, it's luxury. Isn't that what America's all about? Luxury?
The Western culture definitely has us magnetized towards a price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And the things you can't buy are the things that are worthless. That are the priciest.
Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many things I bought that were name brand, whatever, Gucci, Louis, whatever.
Do you regret any of those purchases?
Oh, every purchase. Every single one of them.
Why though? Like, tell me why. Because you were in that world, right? Like you've clubbed, you've done all the crazy things in your life, like you told me before.
Yeah.
But what allowed you to change your perspective? Because today, like, I can say that even me, I still buy into a lot of those things. I'm like, oh, I gotta have the Louis, or I gotta have the newest shoes. How did you gain perspective?
I gained perspective when I mentally learned how to eliminate obsessions.
Explain, please.
Because obsessions are something that thrives in your brain. So like you told me, you're an impulsive person, right? Mm-hmm. So people that are impulsive, we're full of obsessions. We're full of getting ahead. We're full of, I want this. I want to, we talked about when you started this podcast. You're like, I want a podcast. So I want whatever the first video I see online, those guys have the best microphones and the best cameras, and I'm going to go get all that right now. Yeah. You didn't need it.
No.
Just like you don't need the next Louis bag. You can go to the next shop down in the mall and get a Nike, side bag. It's what you care, what people see on you. I don't care. I have the finances to buy every Louis bag that comes out and all the name brand clothes. I go to the Nike outlet. I like my Dunks, so those I can't buy at the Nike outlet, and my Jordan 1s, but other than that, a shirt's a shirt, bro. There's many people out in this world that don't have a shirt, and you're paying $800 for a hoodie or a t-shirt for $400 because it has a brand on it that cares nothing about you.
Are you baffled sometimes at what people like let's say in your own personal circle, like
I see these people, I see nowadays, like people, I do a lot of work in South Park Mall,
Yeah.
And I do shopping in South Park Mall. But man, all this name brand stuff bro, people walk around looking like cartoon characters to me, like clowns. Like they just, whatever those brands make, they'll wear because it gives them some type of there's some type of emptiness in there that fulfills. As a human, you got to fill those gaps. Otherwise, you're stuck spending money on things to for whatever the fulfillment is that's giving you.
That's interesting because yeah, it is like it's like I have felt it. It's like because I bought an $100 shirt, it makes me feel different than like a $10 shirt.
Right.
But why? Like we should examine why that is. If it's first of all, like it's gonna be a garment no matter what. It's still covering your back. It's a shirt. It's like what the heck, right? Like
it's like when you go out and you buy a crossbody bag, nice Louis bag, big old bag sitting on your chest, right? You find yourself when you're wearing things like that, right?
Yeah.
Like
at the club, it's prominent. It's like,
but you make sure you don't stand like this, so you don't cover it, and you're just kind of with your chest all out, and it's just like you're exposed. You're showing that, but not that I'm better than anybody else, but I'm the type of person where I see you doing that, and I'm like, I get it, bro. It means something to you, but one day it won't. Hopefully, one day it won't, because when you learn to appreciate, I think what happened with me is I had so many years of my life was at such a high level of finances and material stuff, and like the best VIP booth in every single club with my boys, and we were just living the life, you know what I'm saying? And I think when I stepped back from that, I realized there's so much emptiness to it.
But that also took you losing a lot too, though, right?
Yeah, 100%, yes. So, like I said, I have been up all the way to the skies, and I've been homeless. So it's like you find yourself in a medium later on in life where it's just kind of like, all right, what really means things.
Did you learn that in your 20s, or did you kind of lose it all?
I would say I learned this over the last 4 or 5 years.
Damn.
And I'm about to be 39 years old in August. Mm-hmm. So, like I got a little brother, and he's in his early 30s. And I can't sit here and tell him how to fix his life or live his life, because in my early 30s, I was a wild animal. Partying, drinking, hungover, missing, work, and just being crazy. So I'm nobody to correct anybody's way of life.
But can't, like, are there ways that you try to like orient him? Because you're right, you just can't, because you didn't do it, or you weren't.
Yeah, I mean, I try to help him out. But then again, my brother he's hard headed like I am. You know what I mean? Like we're from that same cloth. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
But it takes steps. It takes a lot to want to change yourself. Like I don't believe everybody has it in them to change who they are.
Why?
Because people don't see their flaws. People don't absorb every mistake, every wrong, every argument, all the things they did as they walk through life. A lot of people just walk through life. I'm more of a type of person where at the end of every day, it's like, all right, what happened today?
That's how you analyze it.
Yeah, like what happened today? Okay, I got into a fight with my girlfriend today. Mm-hmm. Was it her fault or was it mine? Well, she did this and it pissed me off. Okay. But why are you triggered by that? Are you triggered by what she did because of an insecurity of your own? Are you triggered, did that argument stem from something? Where did it come from? And when you start finding the roots, like your deep roots of who you really are, and it takes a lot, bro, because it hurts sometimes to be able to look in the mirror and be like, man, I'm messed up,
And you consider yourself a hard-headed person. So yeah. It takes even more.
Yeah, and, but I've learned, like, dude, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I can't always be right. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. It is what it is. And sometimes it sucks because the people around me have to deal with me not realizing I'm making a mistake. You know what I'm saying? And they deal with however it comes off. But I always try to go back and make it right. So one thing I feel like people lack of is raw communication.
And that takes being hurtful sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to be able to be like, yo, bro, you're wrong. You know? You're wrong. Nah, but I have... No. Like, people throw the word narcissist around so much now. Bro, so much. Oh, I dated this guy. He's a narcissist. Why? Because everything he says is right. Does he know that he's wrong? Being a narcissist is knowing your flaws, but continuing to use them to benefit on people. You know?
Yeah,
like, you know
yeah,
you're a selfish person, but yet you get into a relationship with somebody and you continue to be selfish. That's being narcissist. That's a narcissist.
Yeah.
You know? And somebody who doesn't care about hurting other people's feelings. But like a lot of people, bro, they don't spend the time to learn who they are. And it takes a lot, dude. It takes a lot to look in the mirror and start picking yourself apart without falling into depression, because we all know depression's real.
Yeah.
Without falling into anxiety and all that. You know, like honestly, I never in my life thought I ever suffered from anxiety because I'm from the streets. I'm from the gutter. You know what I mean? Like,
is that because you were you wanted to be oblivious to it?
No, not at all. I actually learned about how anxious of a person I really am, and anxiety. The girl that I'm dating now, she's been a nurse for 20 years. And when we started dating, she's like, "You have terrible anxiety."
Really?
And I'm like, "No, I don't. I'm not anxious. Nothing bothers me. I got thick skin." She's like, "Okay, I'll point it out next time." I'm like, "All right." Just something happens. The hands start shaking. The brain starts scrambling. She's like, "That's anxiety." And then I learned, okay, so now I have anxiety.
How does it feel to be anxious? Or what does it feel like? Because, again, sometimes unless you're aware of it, you won't notice it. So, like, how do you feel personally, like, whenever you...
I just feel like anxiety is like... I feel like a lot of people have anxiety that don't even realize they do. Me being somebody for 35 years of my life, I never realized I had anxiety. It's just that anxiety comes in so many different ways. So many. There's social anxiety, there's verbal anxiety, like there's just anxiety all over the place, you know what I mean, in life that people are, you know, opposed to. And it's just real. I don't realize it and make myself a victim of anxiety. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm anxious, I need a Xanax or something like that. No, absolutely not. That's not me, and that's not who I am.
Yeah, that's not what you're trying to say.
But understanding, like, some of the feelings that I have, like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, it roots itself from anxiety. And, you know, it's just like, I don't know. You learn to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, you learn to, like, and those are the moments that helped me when I realized that I had, like, anxiety, a little bit of anxiety here and there. Why do I have anxiety? Let's go back. Let's dig deeper into my roots and figure out, why did I become an anxious person? And that's like soul searching, I guess they call it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about living on a beach with elephants or whatever, and, like, you know what I mean, like cooling out. I'm talking about dig deep. And it hurts sometimes, bro. You gotta, like, you really gotta swallow some things that have happened to you and life experiences that you kind of either blocked out so you can continue to move forward.
Or I think sometimes we decide we want to live in a made-up reality.
Facade.
Because, like, even with our conversation, it's like, what are people going to see from the outside in when we have to see from the inside out?
Robin Williams.
Oh, I didn't know that was him, but...
No, Robin Williams. The guy from Flubber and the actor.
Mm-hmm.
The funny guy from Jumanji.
Yeah, he said that.
Committed suicide. Would you ever see Robin Williams sad?
Never.
Jim Carrey was on the verge of suicide. You know who Jim Carrey is, right?
Yeah.
The Mask.
The Mask guy, yeah.
Ace Ventura. Funny guy. Makes everybody else laugh.
Damn.
And those are people, and those are situations where, if digging deep, if they would have done that a little bit ahead of time, possibly, it could have helped them. But the problem is that, like you said, people live in people nowadays live in a very, very, very fantasized world.
When was the point in your life that you learned the most from you, and how did that kind of change you? Because you said 4 or 5 years ago you kind of started doing a lot more evolving, I guess, to find your medium, because you had been through ups, downs, ups, downs. That entrepreneurial mindset has always been there, right?
But, yeah, always. Yeah.
But how'd you find that middle ground to where you're like, okay, from here I can build steady? Did it take being homeless?
No, homeless was years ago.
That's crazy though. It's still like, you're standing here right now, have a good business model, know so many actors, know so many sports players, like nobody would ever know.
Yeah, because I don't tell my story.
I mean, this is a good platform to tell it, because it's like, again, it's like people got to realize, like, you don't necessarily always come from like the best backgrounds. You don't have to come from the best backgrounds to be the best person that you can be. You can be the best person and still come from a shitty background, like, because that's life, that's reality.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what balanced me out, bro. Honestly, like, I just feel like one day I woke up and I was like, man, I need to just get it together, bro. And like I said, I can't sit here and hold people accountable for not being in tune with reality if I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, I have a very weird individual mind, I think. You know, like, I'm very black and white. There's no gray shade or color in life for me.
But what does that mean? Like, you don't...
Like, people will be like... How do you explain it? Like, people will do something. Mm-hmm. Wrong is wrong for me. Yeah, but, you know, like... So, I kind of did it because XYZ. XYZ doesn't live in my world. You did it, you're wrong. Take accountability, fix it, and go from there.
Has that made you lose a lot of people with your circle?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have a very small circle of friends. But they're good dudes. They're all in tune with reality. We could have cool conversations. They're all entrepreneurs. Most of them are entrepreneurs. Some of them just work for other friends. But I'm okay with that, because I don't want to be around people that are not like me or don't appreciate me for who I am, because I've worked so hard to become this version of myself.
Do you find yourself attracting, now that you're like oriented to know what you want, do you find yourself attracting those type of people?
Yeah. And I can tell, like, I can weed it out quickly. Like, if we get into a conversation and it's so easy. I mean, like we talked about earlier, like, you know, a guy pulls up to whatever, a car meet, and he's in the Lamborghini, and he's this and that, you know, and he's got the apartment in downtown. He's got the girlfriend with the, you know, fake body, and it's just like everything in your life is superficial. Everything. You're not in tune with reality. And it sucks because social media has everybody so far out of in tune.
Yeah, I had to take a break, or I find myself I have to take a lot of social media breaks to really like suffer, I guess, because being lonely isn't fun either. But
no, not at all.
It's necessarily, because like you've mentioned that even in your business, you've had to be there till 4 a.m. fulfilling customers. Like, all that isn't fun, but it's stuff that you got to do. Like,
but you don't.
What do you mean?
So that's how I ran my business for many years.
Okay.
My customers can call me 2 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever. Call me. I'm picking up the phone. Maybe a little disoriented, but I'm picking up the phone, right? I'm always accessible to my clients. Why? Because that's what makes sense to me, because I'm the guy they need. And if I'm not there when they want to make that phone call, they're going to call somebody else, right?
That was the mindset before.
That was the original entrepreneur mindset. Be available, be there.
Workaholic type of thing.
Workaholic. No boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you something. What is the one thing when you're walking, you go to Miami. Have you been to Miami?
Yep.
Okay, perfect example. You're walking down the strip, right? There's a club, there's no line. There's a club, there's no line. Now there's a club with a line around the block. Where do you want to go?
The one that's popping.
Are they popping or are they doing line control to make it look like they're popping?
I actually have thought about that. They might be doing line control.
Do it all the time. Because in this human world that we live in, people want what they cannot have. Everybody. It's a desire. So if you're less available, if you're less reachable, people are going to come to you more.
So you've built that exclusivity.
Yeah. All I did was just set boundaries. When we're closed, we're closed. I'm open 8 hours a day, 11 to 7. I'm usually 8 to 7, 8 a.m. 7 p.m. So 11 hours a day, 5 days a week. Weekend, the company phone stays at the shop.
Other than that, you set.
Other than that, I'm with my family. I'm spending time with my family, and that's it.
But how'd that change to where like you're like, okay, I'm gonna give that importance? Did fatherhood change you or?
Mostly the girl that I'm with now.
Okay.
She was kind of like, she kind of, clearly she cares about me, and it was just she had to like pull me out of my where I was and kind of give me like a, hey, look, I get it. I know how you like. I can see that you're thriving in this business, but it's consuming you, and it's gonna get to a point to where it's unhealthy. And she was the second person that told me that. I actually used to have a business partner that I used to work with, and I used to use his shop to do my wraps until I got one of my shops.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd work until 3, 4 in the morning.
That's crazy.
5 in the morning, be back at work 7:30. Like 40-minute drive home, 40-minute drive back to work. Would I sleep an hour?
You didn't care.
Didn't care. Money was calling. I was picking up the phone.
But didn't that take a toll on you mentally? Like, even before you met your now fiance, like, how did you live?
I don't know. I was like a robot, bro. I really don't know. I don't even have an answer for that. I'm sure I was exhausted mentally, physically, but I kept going. And I'd work through the week like that, and I'd go out clubbing at night on the weekends and back to it and work Saturday, work all day Saturday, go out Saturday night, work all day Sunday. I worked 7 days a week for years, bro. 7 days a week.
But then that gave control to your customers. That gave that made you lose your control of yourself, right?
That's when I wasn't working. I wasn't my own boss. I was working for them. And I watch a lot of podcasts, Dana White, stuff like that. And, he has that one podcast where he said, working for yourself, there is no Easter, there is no Christmas, there is no holidays. Someone's constantly trying to take you out, be better than you. Your customers are constantly calling, everybody needs you. And that's 100% right, but you have to. For your own mental health, bro, even if it wasn't for the family I have right now, you still have to learn how to set those boundaries.
You said competition. Do you feel like you're in competition with like yourself to beat others? Because that's the way I kind of think about it. Because I feel like just what you kind of referenced, Dana White, it's like someone's always trying to take you out though too.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you do have to find a balance so you can take on.
So that's a perfect example of like where my mindset goes in a different way than most people.
Okay.
I don't look at anybody's competition.
Okay.
There's guys out there that do exactly what I do. And some of them got it better than me. There's a few guys in town that I'm friends with. They got it better than me. They're locked in with contracts, with dealerships. They're busy 24/7. Bless them.
How do you
let them have it?
How do you set yourself apart though?
I just do what's in front of me, and take every customer as a blessing. You know what I mean? Like, take care of your people. Take care of your customers, and that's kind of like what I've learned is like take care of your customers, and and give them a good experience and be there for, if you mess something up, don't make an excuse. Just be transparent.
Does most of your business come from word of mouth, or have you ever had to invest into marketing?
Not a dollar ever in 9 years.
Damn.
And I've probably wrapped 5,000 vehicles. Never. It's always been word of mouth. It's always been word of mouth. That's what it's been. And that's kind of like, I hold my business off of 3 R's. It's reliability, be reliable, do what you're going to say, do what you say you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Relevance, we'll get into that, the last one, and be responsible.
The 3 R's. I'm interested to know what relevance is.
So relevance for me, I always like to say my favorite story of relevancy is Tom Brady. He was drafted as a quarterback. He was a backup for Drew Bledsoe. But instead of him being lazy and acting like he's a second string quarterback, like a lot of guys do, like, damn man, I made it to the league, but I'm And Drew Bledsoe, he was the man. I don't know how much you're into sports, but Drew Bledsoe at his time, he was the man,
Really?
But he got hurt. And because Tom Brady stayed relevant, stayed sharp, stayed ready, he stepped into the NFL when he got that one chance, and nobody ever took him out of the game ever again. He's the greatest quarterback in football history. All because you're relevant. So relevancy also goes into, like, there's waves, especially with social media now.
Yeah.
It's who puts in the effort to be the coolest shop, And you just, it's crazy because you'll see somebody be a nobody for a long time, and then they catch that one project. It's super cool. It goes viral, and now they're a wave. The same guy that nobody gave a shit about did one car, one cool project, and now he is that guy. And the guy that was that guy tomorrow he's not that guy no more. He's that guy. But that guy who lost the wave, what is his job?
To stay relevant.
You don't got to be on top. Just outlast the guys that are all about the wrong things in business, and it all comes back eventually. Because they'll test them out.
Yeah.
It's like anything in life. It's like restaurants and clubs. They all have the same exact issue that every other entrepreneur business has. How many clubs do you know that people used to go to in Charlotte that, like, now nobody goes to?
Or shut down.
Or they just close them. Or they literally the owner just changes the name, paints the walls a different color, brings in a different DJ, and now boom, he's jumping again.
Relevance.
Stay relevant. But that's just basically, like, that's one thing that I thrive myself on is, like, you got to just outlast the guys that are more worried about being the cool guy. And you got to be the reliable, the respectful, and the relevant guy that lasted.
That's crazy.
As long as you'll be there forever.
Is that what you kind of try to teach your team, that now that you manage your employees? Or is that, like, from an entrepreneurial mindset, you said that you see things a lot of, like, black and white. Mm-hmm. Do you make excuses for your employees ever, if they ever mess up?
No.
Oh.
Not at all. Yeah. My employees are based on a production payment, so I pay them for what they do. None of my employees are getting paid. None of my employees get paid per hour.
Okay.
Number one, because if I catch you on your phone while I'm paying you, I'm going to throw you and your phone out on the damn street. So it is what it is. I said that I project start date, project finish date. You can come in and work 8 hours a day. You can come in Monday, work 2 hours. Come in Tuesday, work 12. I don't care what you do. I try to keep a balance because it's easier to keep a balance, but start, stop, and that's it. So what I do in my business is I have sheets of each project, and they write down, like, which panels they wrap. The fender, the door, and they put their name on it. They are responsible for the warranty on those panels. So if one of my employees wraps your fender and let's say a big bubble pops up, right? They did the job wrong. So they have to use their money to buy another piece of material to fix it. If you don't like it, don't work here.
It's better just to do good work then.
Do good work. Take your time. Everybody who works for me is extremely skilled. But there's one thing of being careful and respecting the people's cars, and there's I want to make a lot of money. And you see how quick the guy who thinks he wants to make a lot of money, he doesn't last. It's in and out. Comes in. I've had hot shots come in. Man, I'm the best rapper. Get out of here, bro. Because I still do the work.
Yeah.
I don't just run the company. I still do the work. I'm still wrapping cars. I'm still doing all that. I'm still laying on my back, changing tires, doing whatever it is that my business needs. I'm still doing that. People ask me that all the time. Do you still actually do the work? I'm like, all the time. Every project, my hands are somewhere in there.
But why are people surprised to hear that? Like I think that it's like, you know, I know a lot of other entrepreneurs too, and it's like as soon as they start seeing a little bit of money, they want to take themselves out of the business and start going out to trips and stuff like that. Like,
because a lot of people are surprised because that's the goal, right? The goal is to have a business, not have to wake up and go to work.
When it's the total contrary, I think, because it takes a lot of discipline to continue. Yeah. It's so crazy that it's like relevance. I had never heard that word really like used in business terms, but it's like you get some money, don't stop. Like it's like you even have to uphold yourself to another level because now you have hold responsibility not only of your clients, you have your employees to handle, you have finances to handle. Like a lot more responsibility comes with being an entrepreneur than just saying I'm gonna make some money.
Yeah, I mean, I think they say 3% of people last as entrepreneurs. I think it's 3% or 7. It's an odd number, but I don't remember. 3, 5, or 7. It's somewhere in there. It's a very low percentage of people who go out to be an entrepreneur and succeed in it. Because it's overwhelming, dude. It's all the time.
It doesn't stop. It's not like...
It doesn't stop.
It's like I always tell people, it's like, you want easy, go get a job. Because being a business owner, it's a whole new scale of responsibility.
I mean, sometimes I tell people all the time, dude, I'll do anything to make the money that I make and punch a clock. Anything, bro. God, it would be so nice to go to work at 9, leave at 5, or go to work at 7, leave at 3. And once I swipe that clock, fuck that job.
Because customers ain't calling.
Nobody's
nothing,
calling.
like,
Nobody.
Live free.
Yep. After that clock is punched, I'm out. I am out. I don't care what happens. Let the building burn down. Oh well.
I'll find another one.
Call me when there's a new. Call me when we're open again. You know what I mean? Like collect my unemployment, be good for a few months. You know what I mean? Take a trip, go live my life. But it's just not in me.
Dang, dude, you pick up a lot of new things, a lot of new habits. Are you happy the way that you're going with your business and yourself too?
Yes. Yeah, I would say right now, regardless of what I've experienced in life before, I would say I'm the happiest in life I've ever been right now.
Even after clubbing, even after having everything.
None of that stuff. Yeah, none of that stuff has any kind of weight on hanging out with my kids.
Really? Fatherhood changed you?
Yeah, it's the best thing I would say that's ever happened to me. And for both of of the kids I have, like I said, I have my son, I have a stepdaughter. But my moments with my stepdaughter are not any different than my moments with my own son, just because she's my stepdaughter. I was raised by a stepfather. Mm-hmm. I don't know my real father at all. When my mom had gotten pregnant, he left $500 on the coffee table for an abortion and was gone. So,
did that make you want to be a better father? Or because sometimes you grab hate and you want to be as hurtful as your own dad was to your kid. So like that's why I'm like,
I think because my dad that I call my dad stepped in when I was 1 years old, and was never anything but a father to me. Even though my brother and my sister below me are his kids with my mom, I was somebody else's kid with my mom. I never felt that a day, not a minute in my life. He fathered me. He stepped in and did the job. And I tell him that all the time, like, because my relationship with my stepdaughter is so good, so strong. And I tell my dad all the time, like, I don't know if this stems from how you did it, because I never looked at you as a stepdad, but I don't know if it is. Thanks, man, because I'm happy in life right now. I'm very, very happy in life.
Having a daughter and a son must be very different experiences, right? Like, do you, because you're a dad. I mean, that's why I'm asking you. I don't know anything about it. How do you manage the relationship between, I guess, a girl and a boy? Because they might be very different, right?
Yeah. So my stepdaughter's 13. So
oh man, okay. So are you worried about? So you talk to her about boys? You talk to her about stuff like that, or like you let mom do that?
No, we're very open about it. Me, mom, and her father. I'm actually really close to her dad. I became really close to him. I'm actually wrapping all the trucks for his business in the next few weeks here.
Got it.
I let mom make the calls. Mom and dad, mom and her father make all the calls. I am just kind of like a best friend, but still a reinforcer of the rules for her. And I think it's a great place to kind of be, to be honest with you, with a teenage daughter, because it allows me to really be there for her. Like, I get to be that cool parent that doesn't have the right to punish, because it's just not my role. But I do have the right to have the conversations of, look, don't do this. Don't be upset when your mom or your dad put down this rule. They're doing that because of this. And then she's a teenager, soon you get the rebuttals, like, yeah, but they don't understand. They do understand. They understand because they were teenagers too. And I know everybody as kids can't stand the rules that your parents make, but can you not sit there across from me and be like, damn, my parents were right about everything they said back in the day?
I used to be very angry at them because of it, but the more I found out, the more I did more soul searching, all that vanished, and all I could be was thankful. But
yeah,
you don't see it when you're a teenager, or you are mad, or I don't know your experience, but I was angry at my parents for a lot of reasons of what they did, but I'm thankful today. It's like the irony of things, right? But it's not just that we just don't understand it.
Yeah, it's, as a kid, you're not meant to understand it. And it sucks because sometimes you have those kids that just get so envious, so angry at their parents as a child. It takes so much time of their adulthood to be like, I don't really like dealing with my mom and or my dad. And you're like, dude, why? It's your parents.
Yeah.
And it's like, because, dude. And then when you sit back and you're like, because they made me come home at 9:00. They made me be home by curfew. They made me follow the rules. And then you're an adult and you're like, you're supposed to follow the rules.
Exactly.
They didn't do anything. They did their job. You know what I mean? They parented you.
Yeah.
They're not there to be your best friend. You can have cool parents, super cool parents, and they're buddy with you. What happens with those kids? No structure. Can't keep a job. On drugs. It's a downward slope. If you don't teach your kid, I've heard this thing. You don't raise your kids for yourself. You raise your kids for the world. Because after 18, after 21, whatever the date is that they decide to go out into the world and be themselves, if they're not raised for the world, this is going to be harsh. Because we live in a harsh world. And it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, my daughter, like I said, she's 13 and my son is 2.5.
Huge difference.
So it's a huge difference. But it's a really cool to see them together. Like, he adores her, dude. My son adores my stepdaughter, dude.
Damn.
Like, he loves her, dude. Like, she'll fake sleep on the couch, and he'll run over, and he'll, like, rub her face and be like, Bella, wake up. Bella. And he'll kiss her on the cheek and be like, wake up. And I'm just like, you know, and it's just so cute, dude. Like their relationship, their bond is so genuine. You know what I mean? It's cool. Like I said, man, I could talk about all this stuff for hours because I'm happy in life, you know. But I've been through it. You know, I've been through the ringer, you know.
No, and it's, I guess, it's the reality of what you live through and what it has taught you. I mean, I'm happy for you, man. Like, it's really like you've been through a lot. Even when we talked off camera, I'm like,
yeah,
it's insane.
I would say 99% of people that have been through the things that I have been through are always going to be the victim in life. That's how they're going to go through life. Everything bad happens to me. I have bad luck. Blah, blah, full of excuses. That's not going to help you. That's not going to fix anything. It's going to continue to be your life, be your character. You're sorry for yourself. You're a sorry individual. That's how I see people like that. You know? I saw this thing on a podcast the other day, and the guy said, you know, like, people who want to change their lives, right? If you are a religious person and you say, God, please bring more love into my life, do you want him to just give you love, or do you want him to give you opportunities to learn how to love? God, please give me more money. I need money. Do you want him to just fill your bank account one time, or do you want him to give you opportunities that teach you how to make money?
No, at the end of the day, it would teach you to learn how to do that than something that's given to you.
It's when everything changes.
When you start learning yourself, which is seeing, again, from the outside in. From the in to the outside.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I kind of see things, and I use that towards my business, my personal life. I'm always growing. I'm always trying to grow. I'm always trying to accept my wrongs, my flaws, fix and actually do the work to fix them.
No, and thank you for coming on the podcast and explaining kind of your journey. I know we didn't get to cover everything. Hopefully we get to do this next time. I always ask people this question. You now, to where you stand at now in your evolved self, what would you have told your younger self that was a little bit more frustrated with life? Or, I mean, I'm glad that you used to beat up kids that used to bully each other, but again, it's like you were angry, right? Like you've always been protective of things that you love. Like, what would you tell yourself now to who you were before?
I think the best advice that I would have given my younger self was just focus on the reality. Keep yourself from wandering off into that facade, and be disciplined. Be disciplined. It's okay to be disciplined. You know, it's key to be disciplined. You know, like I said, I was a bodybuilder, tons of discipline in that. I mean, your whole life is discipline.
Yeah.
Everything. And it's just, I think that would be great advice for somebody. As a younger me would have been, be disciplined, be happy. Because happiness means a lot. And stay in tune to reality. Because those three things right there you'll keep those three characteristics. You know?
The 3 R's was really impactful, actually. Like that was something you learned, but that's
it's something that I learned, and I've never actually heard other people use those, like, those references on any other podcast, but my biggest thing is relevancy.
I like
Be relevant.
I like it. No, and I'll have in the description below, again, thank you, Billy from Vinyl Addictions. I'll make sure that, I mean, you probably have enough customers already, but just in case someone does want to get their car wrapped so that they can contact you.
Yeah, tell them to contact me, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys stayed this long, make sure you guys hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think about the episode. Again, huge shout out to Billy for coming through and taking the time. Again,
sure.
like you took time out of your schedule, dude. I appreciate it. So
yeah, for sure.
we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you.